You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome to the AM Club right here on MX24. We're excited to come back. Listen, this song came out 12 years ago, and 12 years ago, this song sounded like club song or a song we could dance with, but it had a lot of lessons. I was a very young girl by then, but 12 years down the line, it still is very relevant for us to talk about because it's pertaining to the lives of Ghanaians. The average Ghanaian is a little to an extent irresponsible on the road, and it's causing a lot of lives lost. In fact, recently we saw the issue of Kwame Eugene, and it kept, I don't know where that issue has gotten to, but the angles of the conversation was very, very heartbreaking. Also, that of Funny Face. And we can count a lot of people who didn't survive, who were probably not in the limelight, but have lost their life due to bad road practice. And so this morning on the show, it has become necessary for us to have this conversation. But before we get into that, are you a business owner in Accra looking to optimize your operations? Join us for a special conference on Tuesday, July 23rd, all about digitalizing your company using Odoo. Many companies in Accra are switching to Odoo to streamline their processes and increase their revenue. Did you know that the average company uses 14 different apps to run their business? This can lead to poor communication, lack of integration, and limited visibility, costing up to 30% of your revenue. At our conference, we'll discover the new features of Odoo 17 and learn how it can help your business. You get to know and you get to have an interactive demo of Odoo 17 tips and tricks from digital experts, success stories from local companies, a Q&A session with our experts, and also networking opportunities will be available. Don't miss this chance to transform your business, and make sure to keep this on your calendar. Lock this one, save the date, 23rd of July. It's at 6 p.m. at the Marriott Hotel on July 23rd. See you there, 6 p.m. at Marriott Hotel. 6 p.m., which means that by 5:30 you are seated. 6 p.m. the event kicks starts, and we're going to have a good time learning about how to maximize productivity at our workplace. So, like I said earlier today, this morning, we are going to have this conversation about road safety. And joining us to have, listen, we couldn't have chosen any better person. These young men are doing the work. They are doing the Lord's work. I personally chanced on them on social media a couple of months ago, and I am absolutely in love with what they're doing in Ghana. When the conversation came up, I was thinking of Kobiche and him. Because I'm like, I see what these young men are doing. And them, I said him. How I didn't recognize him on the set was another different conversation. But joining us, Samuel White, a Japan, a filmmaker, road safety advocate as well, and King Fad Abukari, also a road safety advocate. And I wish we could ask, how old are you? How old are you? I wish I could ask that, because at what point did you decide that, listen, I'm going to put myself on the line to make sure this conversation is had? I'm going to start with you, King Fad.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for having me on the show. I would say I started this road safety issue or awareness not quite a long time, but I think it has taken some years.
A couple of years.
Yeah, because looking at where I am coming from coming from a deprived area, I should say, from a community where you can always see plenty people or numerous people on the streets, and also sometimes we encounter or we get in touch with cars, motor, bikes, and a whole stuff, so this is an area that we call the street Chinatown because of the numerous people we have on the streets. Okay,
well, where is that?
Around Mamobi, Kaukudi.
In Accra?
In Accra, here.
Chinatown, in
Yes,
Accra?
Yes. So this is what happens there. Such places, cars don't even get the chance to even move freely because of due to the number of people on the street. So sometimes cars have to even take their time to have their way, to have a safe pass, because if you don't take time and you hit someone on the street, it's going to turn out to be a problem. So it came by our people, with quote unquote, that they think our people in the Zongo community are not educated. So having me to be somebody who is a student, and I chanced on being a road safety advocate too, I think I'll take it upon myself to educate my people from my community before I move out.
Absolutely.
So I started educating them in my local language, that's the Hausa and Twi and those other tribes that are there in the community. So I think it's just something I did
So
basically.
this is
because
born
my
out
training.
of your passion for your people and
Right.
also noticing that nobody else could do this now and it's a problem.
Yeah.
So let me take it upon myself. That's brilliant. Summer White, your video, I saw your video, it came up on my timeline and I saw you, I think it was a trotro trying to park at a place that, you know, was not safe. And then I think you were addressing them to not park. And for you, you were wearing a vest, but I know that they thought you were police.
Yeah.
I know they thought you were police,
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
necessary for you to do that. When did you start this and why?
Okay, thank you very much for having me on this show as well.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Okay, personally, I had an encounter April 1st, 2019, where I witnessed an accident. I rushed the person to the hospital, but unfortunately, she lost her life. And then since then, I asked myself, how many people have died this way? What can I do? I'm a filmmaker. How can I have an impact on the society? I started by shooting content relating to road safety. So it's just like our own skits we see on the television, like the Dr. Likey's them, but mine is towards educating the public about the need to stay safe on the roads.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. Started from 2019. Okay. But this is how I really started it. I would buy warning triangles, as many as I could, maybe 20, 50 pieces, because I was always against the road crash incidents of trucks being on the road. So when I'm driving and I notice maybe a truck is broken down somewhere, I'll just take one from the vehicle and I'll keep it there and I'll drive off. And I wasn't even documenting them. I was doing it out of passion. When I do that, I feel like, oh, Charlie, tonight I saved some accidents. So I feel very good about it. And it's been from April 2019 till 2024, and we are still doing it.
You have evolved from just helping people privately into documenting instances where people are being very disobedient on the road. Some of the challenges you faced doing that would be?
Okay, we are citizens, okay? We are always calling on the government, but we also have a role to play. Just like my video you chanced on. On that highway, there's an outer lane that loads for those going on the outer lane, maybe Dome, St. John's, Taifa, and all those places. And then there's a highway one that goes to, let's say, Accra. So if you know you are going to Dome, what do? You board the Dome vehicle. You don't board the one going to Accra. And you expect the driver to stop on the highway for you to drop. And then when they drop over there too, it doesn't end there. Instead of them to go and cross the footbridge, they still cross on the highway again. And then when you try to correct them, it becomes a challenge. I've been hitting in the vehicle by a passenger before because I told the driver I'm not going to allow them stop on the highway. And the guy hit me. He doesn't understand why he wants to drop because they usually drop him. So he doesn't get it. Where are you from? Why do you want to tell me I can't? I'm like, no. This is how we can all collectively help. You can't always be blaming the government, Ministry of Road, Ministry of Highway, Road Safety. You also have a role to play. So the challenges, I get it from the citizens. They are very difficult. They are very stubborn. I've even been attacked with the knife before at Odumasi Junction just because a motorbiker tried to cross a red light. And I said, stop. They came to attack me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pat, let me take your challenges you faced in your area, and because again now we know you've gone a bit beyond your area, but when you started, how difficult was it to get the message across to your people?
Honestly, it has been very difficult because, you know, as I made mention before or earlier, you know, with our settings or our community, people don't usually accept things freely like that. They intend to ask the purpose of what you are doing, what benefits they will get from it. Not they thinking maybe this could save their lives. Because imagine numerous people on the street and there is a motorbike. And you know our area, it's always about motorbikes and cars. And the majority is motorbikes. You know, how they move about. Some even just play around with the motorbikes. All these are problems. And I've seen, even from my friends that I lived with, people have been injured because of bad road behaviors and stuff. You know, so the challenges has been like, they don't want to accept you from what you, because usually it has to be like, okay, we are together. Why don't we go out to play football? Why are you moving away from what we are doing and you moving in to do what it's not
the
even regular
acceptance
thing.
is very difficult because I can smell that in both your conversation. I
Yeah.
can literally hear that we as Ghanaians are not easily convinced to do the right thing.
It's a big problem with accepting.
Yeah.
You know, because I think for a fact, in terms of doing everything or anything, you would have to accept first. That's even when you look at the religious aspect of everything we are doing, it is acceptance. We've never seen God, we don't know who God is, but we accepted that, okay, there is God. So now you'd have to worship Him. So you accept it first, then
Before
now
you can take a step
on it.
Wonderful. Now, let's move away from your personal. We'll come back there later. But the issue at hand is road safety, and also what happens to people who get involved in accidents. But let's talk about what are some of the major causes. Now, since you have been on the road, you've seen some really gory accidents, I'm sure. What are some of the major causes of accidents right now in Ghana?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. We are trying to start using road crash instead of accidents, because accidents are unexpected events, but road crash are as a result of our human behavior. Because if you are driving and you are texting and you get involved in an accident, you get involved in an incident like that, it's a road crash. You caused it. Because when you were driving, you were texting, what were you expecting? You are drunk, you are driving. What are you expecting? You have a child in front with no seat belt. When there's an incident, what are you expecting? So let's go back to your question. The causes. Me personally being on, even this morning, out of every 10 vehicles you see moving, you find about 6 people on their phones. Almost everybody in this country is texting and driving. And then accidents don't happen in a minute or two for you to realize yourself or assess the situation. It takes just a second. By the time your head is down from the phone, it's already occurring. There's nothing you can do about it. And then drunk driving. Party, you know how party life in Accra is. And then people are driving very speed vehicles now. So from 12 a.m., 1 a.m., everybody wants to prove the kind of car they are driving on the roads. If you usually ply the 37 road, you notice them, you find them on the road overspeeding. Overspeeding, that is another cause. Another factor can also be fatigue. You know the nature of our roads. People want to go to work around 8 o'clock, but they have to leave the house maybe 4 a.m., 3 a.m. Okay? You drive through all this traffic to go to work. And then when coming back, you are driving through the same traffic and stress. Not everybody is able to keep their composure when driving. You can get tired, and then when you find sleep stealing you just a little bit, it can also cause a major accident. So the factors and the causes, there are many, but just to mention a few. Just to mention a few.
And I believe that these ones are like the highlights of the causes of accidents.
I think this phone issue should be...
And I see you're wearing a shirt with that.
Don't drive texting.
Don't drive texting. It's a big thing for you, eh?
It's a major topic, like a subject it should be a national discussion. It should be a national discussion. We shouldn't take it lightly as, oh, it belongs to the road safety authority, supposed to do it. No. We should all get involved, because if I'm driving with you and I'm on my phone and you are mute, you're also on your phone, and something happens, do you think you go scot-free?
No.
I posted a video yesterday about a Benz vehicle that got involved in the accident. The driver didn't lose a life, it's the passenger. So imagine you were in the car and the guy was over speeding and you were not able to say, brother, please take your time, and you were just there, enjoying the ride. You've lost your life. He's alive. He's at the hospital. He's going to come back. Maybe he's going to have a change of mind now.
But you're gone.
But you are gone.
You are gone.
Yeah.
Right. I'd like to come in here and, I mean, you and I, we will go way back.
Way back.
But let me use this opportunity, and on this platform, I mean, I've never had the opportunity to tell you, because I never saw him doing something of this sort. And for you to come this way and doing all this, well, rather, hats off for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for lauding this enough. Now, I see you post a lot, and I've seen something called, in fact, I'm very educated about it, but because I'm called Jay and everybody calls me Jay, I saw Jay walking. What exactly is that? And I just realized that you post a lot about that. And I believe that happens to be a cause of accidents right here in Ghana.
Yeah.
Can you just elaborate a little bit about it for us?
Okay. let me simply put it like this. Jaywalking is recklessly crossing the road at the wrong places, unauthorized places. If there's a footbridge and you use the highway instead of the footbridge, you are jaywalking.
Yeah.
If there's a pedestrian crossing and you don't use it, and you go crossing the way and manner you think is okay for you, you are jaywalking.
Oh, okay.
The same way, even the motorbikers, you see them trying
For instance,
to...
what we're seeing on the road, the young man
road
is
right
sitting
now.
on there.
Yes.
Okay.
I tried cautioning him.
And what happened?
He didn't mind me. I think if he had a cane, he would have lashed me as to why I'm
So that's
stopping him from
jaywalking,
crossing.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
jaywalking.
yeah.
So crossing the road unauthorizedly, okay, recklessly, wrongly, it is jaywalking. And even the motorbikers, you see them trying to use the pedestrian way.
Yes.
You are jaywalking also.
I think there was also a video recently. I think Kafri Day was doing an interview, live interview.
Exactly.
And a motorbike just came to pass right where they were even standing. And he was
Exactly.
like, how is this happening? And he tried questioning the guy. And the guy, he was ready to
didn't
beat
even
him up.
listen. And you know the
Exactly.
funny part?
Yeah.
That spot, that's in front of
GBC, yes.
I've been there severally with Kobiche to
Yes.
them.
Yes.
Okay, so I think quite recently they just painted a zebra crossing
Yeah.
at that spot.
Yeah.
So that's when they were, I think they were reporting about road safety
About
there.
road
So
safety.
when the guy was coming,
Yeah.
the guy was just going behind them, was on live camera. He didn't know that. So when Kafi Day approached him to ask him why is he using the road, he didn't even utter it. After when Kafi Day made a stop for someone to cross, so he then used that opportunity to cross as well. So when he was going, what I heard from the video was that then Amoyawa, then he left. Meanwhile, school children use that road a lot because there are, I think, 3 schools around that
Yeah.
stretch from Osu, that stretch.
So it's
Kanda
not
to Osu.
even an area to be making
No.
all
Yeah.
these
No.
mistakes.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, even coming from Osu, you
Yeah.
can see these motorbikes or vehicles, police vehicles that are on top speed.
Yeah.
And when you look at, I know Samuel White will touch on it. When you look at the foreign land, like maybe in America or UK,
Yeah.
there is I think 1 meter
Warning lines.
right?
Before the
1 meter
zebra
before
crosses.
the zebra crossing. But here in Ghana, ours is
have
just
it.
close. So sometimes the driver even gets closer to you before they make a stop.
And they don't even realize
They don't realize it because they are always on the
somebody
top speed.
is crossing that they should stop, especially when it's in front of a zebra crossing. You were making your submission on the jaywalking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So crossing the roads wrongly is jaywalking. Trust me. I'm not technically inclined, okay? I don't know much about engineering, but you see where that zebra crossing is, that GBC, where that zebra crossing. If you ask me, I think it's a little bit risky for oncoming vehicles because it's in a curve like this. When you're coming from Paloma,
Yes.
Yes.
and you are coming, before you get there, it's a bit in a curve.
Yes, in a curve. Yeah.
So me, the positioning self, I've always had a problem with it.
Oh.
Because trust me, even if you put a warning signs behind, most of our drivers are not educated.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even notice the warning sign before you know he's at the zebra crossing.
Do we even pay attention to road signs at all here in Ghana? And if we don't, how best can we enforce that? Because I'll tell you what, I'm driving towards Dansoman, and I think from the runabout itself, and I'm heading towards, let's say, Exhibition.
Okay.
So I'm going straight.
Straight.
And I miss my way because I want to get to the other side of the road. Now I realize that there's a part where it looks like a T junction. So but there is no sign of a U-turn over there. So then I say no. There's no sign of a U-turn. So let me just keep going. And I keep going and I keep going and I keep going. But I'm like, wait. I mean, there are a few stops that are like T junctions on that road. And there's no one single sign that shows that, oh, you can even do a U-turn there. But
you
meanwhile, there are cars who do U-turn over there
On those parts.
on that stretch. So, and I have also been arrested before by a police officer from the Ablekuma stretch. And I know that place, you're there mostly. And what he told, sometimes you're on the road and there are signs that, oh, you can turn
Left.
to the outer lane.
Yeah.
Yes. So I turn to the outer lane and then he stops me and says, no, I was supposed to use the very first one. And I said that the previous one doesn't even have the turning. This one too doesn't also have the turning. So sir, explain to me, how is it that I get to know that this one is this turn that I'm supposed to use, or this turn that I'm not supposed to use? How do you explain this to me?
Okay.
Because we normally don't even see these signs. It's either it's broken or something is happening to it.
I'll allow you to answer it, then I'll just add my little piece, please.
Okay, I'll answer you right on the same Ablekuma stretch. So you see, when you are almost at the Ablekuma traffic light, I noticed there were some police guys at the junction in the curve that arrest drivers that join wrongly.
Exactly.
So personally, I like to do my own research. I don't like hearsay. So I went there and I observed something. The sign had been broken down.
Okay.
So the drivers used it anyhow, and the police people are arresting them. Meanwhile, between you and I, you know the sign is not there. But sometimes the nature of the road also tells you, you see, when you're on that stretch and you can be able to turn right, you see the pavement break shaped towards the direction of your car.
Okay.
The moment it's not shaped like that and it's shaped the other way, that means it's the other lane that can.
Okay.
So you can take note of those pavement shapings. Aside that, most of the warning signs are broken down. And sometimes I think it's a collective responsibility. Because as we sit here, urban roads might not know the signpost in front of your office is broken down. You can draw their attention. So we as the citizens too, we can also call on the authorities to get them to do the right thing. But anytime you are driving, please pay attention on the road. There will be something to guide you. There would be something definitely.
In terms of guiding, two things I probably want to touch on. One is that if the sign is broken, and in Ghana, we have seen that even in construction of roads, if there's a road that is going to my house and I think it's bad, and I decide to take money and fix it, government usually doesn't allow. It takes forever to get approval to do those things. So clearly, me saying that I'm going to fix a road sign that is broken is almost out of my jurisdiction. As a Ghanaian, they haven't given us those authorities yet. I don't know what rules guides these things, and if you know, you can tell me. So these authorities, especially the police, who knows very well that this particular one that we're talking about is broken. And you might not, maybe because we're organizing one called driving school, so they might not know the markings on the road. What is their responsibility? Is it not? Doesn't it fall under their right on their lap to tell the authorities that this road sign is broken? Put it there. Let's see if these people will adhere to it. Then I can arrest. But maybe Tensi is not in here.
Okay, I'll use a project I'm embarking on right now as an example. Okay, so the Odumase Government School. It's a public school around the Ablekuma area. They've diverted a road from Odumase Junction to Amasamai. That connects very well. So now most of the vehicles use that route very well. Makes it difficult for the students of the Odumase school to be able to cross. I live in Odumase. As a concerned citizen and a road safety advocate, what can I do? I want to construct a zebra crossing and a speed ramp post for them with the signs. I'll educate them as to how to cross, and it's also going to serve as a warning to oncoming vehicles. I can't wake up one morning and just go on the road to do it. So I first took images of the area and what I want to do. I took it to urban roads. They send their engineers to join me, come examine if it is an appropriate place to construct such a thing. They also went back to their office, checked their books, and realized I could do it. They facilitated everything and gave me the go-ahead. Now, FACO company is the one responsible to be able to construct such a thing. I take my letter and the results from urban roads to them. They also go through, they assess, they check, okay, this is how much it's going to cost and this is how we are going to do it. When I am finally ready, we will do it, and then definitely, I'll share it so you get to see. If we leave it for us to just do it anyhow, I might even be doing the wrong thing that can cause even more accidents. Maybe the markings, I might not even do it well. Maybe I might position the signage at a wrong place. But since they are expertise, they'll guide me to be able to do it rightly so that whatever we really want to achieve, we can achieve and achieve it very well. So if you have a major concern, you want to do something like that, trust me, if you can't go through all the processes, send Samuel White a message because road safety is something I prioritize seriously. Send me a message and I can take the lead for you.
Thank you so much, Samuel White. Fine. You want to touch on some of the causes of accidents?
Well, I think Samuel White have said a lot, and when we look at some common causes of this road accidents, has to do with, first, you know, in Ghana everyone will mention overspeeding, but before overspeeding, what do we do? When you sit in your vehicle, before even you start your ignition, or first, we are advised to even put your leg on the brake first before you start your ignition. But before that, you have to buckle up your seatbelt. You know, but what do we find? You'll be roaming around town, and out of 100, or on a scale of 100, you find 90% of drivers without seatbelt.
Yes.
Unless if they are approaching a police stop, that's when you'll be fighting to get. And even with that, they don't have the locker there.
Yeah.
They just pull it, and with their one hand, they are holding the seatbelt. With one hand, they are driving. You know, so this is an experience that we all see. But as Samuel White said earlier, you might be in the car or in that vehicle without saying anything. I'm like, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Stop it. Because Ghanaians are not people that speak up. We are reserved. But when it happens, then now we are loud. We want to say a lot, like, you will say no, yes, no, did you know? So these are some of the things. And as when you look at texting whilst driving, it's a major cause of accident now. Because I think everyone is doing it. Even now, people riding on motorbikes.
They are texting.
Yes. You find people seated at their back, even with loads, one hand with the phone, one hand on the steer.
Oh no.
You know, so because I quite had that experience when I was coming from school around Shashi. I saw this guy with one delivery guy from these global motorbikes. The guy got knocked down at Shashi because he was texting. But nobody realized it because he was knocked down. That's one aspect.
Now he's a victim.
Yes. So you see, everybody was like, oh, then he's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but what was he doing? You know? Because if he had his both hands on the steer, I think he was going to be good. You know? So it's a problem.
Okay, Fad, and Samuel, how best would, because we are in an era of technology, I do know social media, we're using that, but to go down the nitty-gritties of technology and innovation, how best can this help us to create road safety awareness too as well?
Okay, I think with technology, the world is evolving now. You know, we can't still be using hard copies or maybe soft copies on phone. But if there is the need for apps that can help to report road accidents, even call in for emergencies, it will be fine. Because myself and Samuel White had that experience when we were, that was around Nkoko during Easter.
Easter
Yes.
celebration.
So we encountered one road accident. When we got to the scene, surprisingly, Samuel White called an ambulance. But could you believe that from Pokwasi to Nsawam, if I'm not lying, there was no ambulance from Pokwasi to Nsawam.
You kid me not.
So for me, yes. So for me, what I think is that I don't think road accidents kill people. It's the emergency response. Because sometimes you might be involved in a road accident. You might be lying down there, maybe bleeding for about an hour. Instead of if there was a response for emergency, which could get there about 30 minutes or 20 minutes so that they can save you. You'll be lying there for an hour, bleeding out, and what do you think will happen?
Because you pass out.
And it's because we saw this scene with the driver alone in that vehicle, traveling to Kumasi. The guy had an accident. He was there before we got to the scene. And so luckily, it was one driver that we stopped at Nkoko.
Yeah.
Right.
A stop before there.
Stopped before there. That came to save that driver before we even got there.
JKD, let me add something. You see, I'm sorry. It's been a while you've seen me on the road against these truck drivers. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah.
It was that night I decided to come back. I withdrew myself a while with the team. Why? Because when we appeared at the scene of the accident, we did our best. I called trust me, the police people came to our aid. when I called, in the matter of 10 minutes, they had sent somebody over there. But the ambulance, they said they were coming. We never heard from them till whatever. Okay. Before the police people got there, there was a police patrol that was passing. He got to where we were, slowed down, and then drove off. So I was like, how? You are driving as a police patrol. I don't care whether you are on an assignment or something, but you see a situation like this. You see young guys in reflectives. At least just stop and ask, guys, what are you doing here? So I asked myself, what if it was armed robbers attacking us in our line of duty? Who is paying me? This is a voluntary service. This is something I'm doing for Mother Ghana. We drove from Accra to Nkoko with warning triangles in our vehicle during the Easter celebration. Why? Because every truck that is broken down on the route, we wanted to put a warning triangle behind it. So that all these Easter guys going for celebrations, they don't crash to death. And then in a situation like this, a police patrol full of policemen sees something like this, they drive off. How safe am I?
The police can't even stay there and help you. Now, when it comes to the loss of the land, when it comes to the loss of this land, we will say whatever we want to say. We will, in fact, you have started your own campaign. Whether it's in the law, it's embedded in the law or not, we don't know. But what are the existing laws in Ghana right now, or what are some of the, let me keep it at the law level, that we could amplify to make sure that the road safety conversation is a bit more louder than it is? Because one thing I've noticed about this country, when you look at our constitution, it's a very beautiful one, very detailed one, one that can protect us from anything that we have ever suffered from.
Absolutely.
But it is the implementation. So now let's go back to what is available. What provision has been made available for road safety that if we implement it, at least these things could, if not completely be eradicated from our society, it could calm down a little bit.
There are road traffic laws. There are road traffic laws, okay? But I think the major problem is not even about the laws, because I have them here. We can quote all of them. Let's take, for instance, driver's license. The section 53 says, except or otherwise provided in this act, a person shall not drive a motor vehicle or any description or class unless he's a holder of a driver's license. This is what the law is saying.
That you as an individual, you need to hold a driver's license.
Exactly. But
not the TV license.
Practically, if on the road, a driver doesn't have a license, this is where the law comes in. There's a punishment for not having a license. Is it implemented? Let me use this opportunity on this great show to explain something. It looks like we've left driving, let me say commercial driving, to, maybe uneducated people. But driving is a serious profession. It is not a child's play, because it's about human lives. So if these laws are there and can be implemented, can be forced, we'll have all these guys trooping in because there's no fear. There's no fear.
And there's nothing big. Some of this, the other time I saw them on the road, is it the GPRTU or the police that takes care of that? They were on the road taking people's licenses saying that it's fake. There's also a way of obtaining driver's license in this country fake.
Yes.
Wow.
I remember one time a policeman stopped me like that and asked me, he mentioned my license was fake. I just told him simple, if my license is fake, let's go to DVLA. I didn't issue it for myself. So if you think it's fake, let's go there. I did it the right way. So if you think my license is fake, let's go there and then you go and ask them, not me. Because me, I was issued. It was issued to me. So if you think my license is fake, then I don't know what you're talking about. So back to what we were discussing. The laws are there, JKD. The laws are there. But the implementation, fire extinguisher, majority of drivers have it in their vehicle. Do you know why? Because a policeman will ask, where is your fire extinguisher? Does he even know how to use it? No. He doesn't know how to use it. He just has it as a requirement. So that when a policeman stops and asks, where is your fire extinguisher, he can be able to bring it out. Because I saw an accident scene where the fire had just started very small, and God being so good, almost everybody around had a fire extinguisher. When I saw the video from the beginning, I was excited. Do you know all of them destroyed their fire extinguisher? They open it and it goes this way. This one open his, it goes that way. they couldn't use, they watched the vehicle burn to ashes.
Wow.
So,
There's a lot for us to
would
learn in
we-
this country.
So yeah, a whole lot. So then, even with this fire extinguisher submission, I'll tell you, personally, I'm guilty. I don't even know how to do that.
Hey,
That I'll tell you.
yes.
I'm not going to pretend and be on the show and be
No,
like, oh
no.
yeah, I have a fire extinguisher. There's one in my car, but I don't know how to use it. That's the thing. So then, myself and others out there, I mean, apart from, you know, having it and then moving around and then knowing that, oh, yes, I have a fire extinguisher at the back of my car, what can we do so that the masses gets to know all these things and it's being done? Because, yes, you see videos even on social media and all that, that you see the fire service, you know, showing people how to do it. But I only see that when it has to do with, let's say, an important celebration, or there is a deba somewhere or something. That's when they get to do that. But I feel that this should be done in like, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to just be done every single time. Probably once in a month, we should just take time. We all probably meet at the Independence Square and we're all, you know,
Learning
shown how to do it. How best can we do that? Because you are advocates, and I know. I mean, the way
There are
you are
lots of things on your
frontlining
heart
things.
to
I mean,
do.
this is coming from your heart, and we adore what you're doing. So how best can we do this?
Let me go in.
Yeah, go in now.
Okay. Me, apart from all these commercial vehicles that are not organized, I think most of the companies in this country, we owe it a responsibility also to help in situations like this. This is Max
MX.
MX TV, okay? I don't know the number of people that work here. Definitely there will be some that use vehicles, even if not all of you.
Yeah.
Your head of department can organize a road safety
training.
education or training for just you guys. And then whatever you learn, it's not going to stick with just you. If you have a brother, you have a sister, it's easy for you to also transfer that same knowledge to them. What I notice is we don't prioritize safety officers or safety divisions in most of our companies in this country, unless something bad happens. And then we are always blaming the emergency response. Imagine a big company and then almost all your workers have not a single idea about the use of fire extinguisher. But when you enter their offices and their hallways, you see the fire extinguishers there.
Some of which has expired. That
Who
they
is
didn't
supposed
even
to
know.
use it? Is it the fire officers that are coming to quench the fire? No, that is first aid. When it starts very small, that is when we use it. So we as corporate entity, corporate bodies, we owe it a responsibility to also collectively help situations like this by organizing all these trainings.
Yeah,
Because
and the
fire safety
symposiums
department,
and
they are
all that.
always ready.
Yeah.
If you call on them, they are ready. They will come.
Yeah.
No, it's actually surprising that you're saying that they're ready.
Yes.
Because when I was growing up as a young child, and I was talking about this particular song that we played by Obuo. When I was growing up, this education was given to us in the schools. I remember Road Safety Commission used to organize this annual thing where they come to schools. I experienced one myself several times. From class 4 to class 6, I experienced it. On television, there were adverts all over the place about road safety, one conversation after the other. Sometimes it's on when your fire, when your car gets fire, when crossing the road. When crossing the road was one of the biggest conversations at the time. Look left, look right, wait, to make sure the car is slowing down before you cross. Make sure you are crossing at a zebra crossing. All this education was given at the time. Our children today don't know this. They don't see it. So the Road Safety Commission, you telling me right now that they are always ready to teach is actually surprising.
They are.
But
They are.
But
Is that but?
I won't put a but.
Because
they are.
before,
you know why?
there was a few television stations in Ghana.
Now there are many.
Now there are many, so you can, if say a budget, then we can use the power of I am a public office, and this is a necessary conversation. So the television stations should take it as their CSR.
Okay.
There are different angles of this conversation that could get, because this is necessary. If my staff is at risk of dying on the road due to road accidents, I will take it upon myself, a caring company will take it upon themselves to advertise for you on that thing. And I know that usually they have some exceptions, they have some exemptions where they are giving discounts because they are doing the Lord's work. So road safety has, for me, in my opinion, have a big role to play in this conversation, even though we as individuals of the country, as citizens, have our own role to play. Have they done their own and we haven't responded to it?
Okay.
And I know you have an answer to it.
Okay, before he chips in, I want to say something about the educational aspect of this road safety thing. As you made mention, when we were all growing up in schools, you know, they teach us all of these things about how you cross the road, when to look right, look left, and look left again or right before you even cross the road. But now it has become a broad thing, you know, like we've left it out because we are not even practicing it. Because if, even including those behind the scene, your cameramen and everything, or like an entity like this, if you had to call everyone in here to ask them of one thing that I would say which is familiar with everybody since childhood, maybe people will forget, but when we start to do it, they will now recollect it. It's just simple, like, I am for like broken down traffic lights. So when I ask you, okay, now, what do you think has been the song since you were in primary for traffic lights?
Let me stop.
Good. You see, so this comes back to what she was saying. If we recollect all these songs in our head, definitely it's going to help us. And we are going to pass it on, as Samuel White made mention, when we come to an entity like this to educate the people here about road safety or any other safety practices, we are going to channel it or disseminate it back to our families. So we go to a school, we organize a section for the students, so talk to them or have a seminar with anyone, talk to them about road safety, what you have to do when you are crossing, stop jaywalking, use the footbridge, cross at a designated area where you are supposed to cross. You don't just cross because you think a car or a vehicle is not coming, so you are just crossing. No. Because there are measures into all these things. Supposing you are crossing, there is a zebra crossing here, just 5 meters away from you, and you are crossing from here, and a car knocks you down. You go to the court of law, they are going to look into things like that. Where did you cross? Where did the car hit you? There are going to be markings and a whole lot. You know, so we have to be cautious of all these things. So education or road safety education should be prioritized.
Yeah.
With I don't even know what, but should really be looked at. Yeah. Especially from our schools.
Yeah. Now, whilst touching on that, in recent times, I saw you go outside Ghana. Yeah. And you were trying to highlight some of the things that are happening in those countries. Which country was that again? Canada. Yeah. So Canada is experiencing a more safer road practice than we are.
If I can use oversafe, I'll use it.
Please use it.
I'll use oversafe.
Oversafe. Okay.
But before I go to this one, I want to add something to what Fad was saying. You know, we have NCC in this country.
NCC.
NCCE. NCC. National Commission for Civic Education.
Education, yes.
It is their job.
Right.
They owe us.
That's what they do.
That is, they are supposed to educate the citizens. So what I said. They are supposed to educate the citizens about this kind of thing. Yes. I said department. We have the camera department. We have the sound department. We have the light department. Right. NCC has a role to also play. 4.5 followers on social media. When I pass my messages, maybe 500 people, 1,000 people. But if NCC is involved, it's a national thing. It's going to be nationwide. The message will go far. So NCC has a role to play in terms of the education. Yes. Now let's go to our Canada issue. Yes. So
the practices they have implemented over there that has been so successful that if we inculcate it into our system, it will help us.
Every pedestrian crossing I came across, every traffic light I came across had a pelican button. What's that? Okay, so the pelican button is, you see when there's a traffic light, there's a yellow yellow square shaped button over there with a knob over there that you can just tap. Once you tap on it, you wait for a minute to 3. The highway vehicles, their traffic light is going to turn from green to red. And then the pedestrian is going to turn from red to green to aid you cross.
Okay.
Every traffic light I saw had it. So you have no reason to go and cross on the highway because they've already provided a safer way for you. And the lines, the zebra crossings, you can see them. They are very visible.
Not faded, eh?
Not faded, very visible. They are very thick, positioned at very advantageous, not just anywhere. Where they are positioned is even a factor. Because when you are talking about pedestrian crossing, we are forgetting about the disabled. We are forgetting about the handicapped. You and I can walk 1 minute to that pedestrian crossing to go and cross. How about that person? How about the blind? Is he also going to walk? So, strategically positioning the crossings, the footbridge, also plays a very good role. And then lane markings.
Yes. Yeah.
I went for a tour in Niagara, and then we're coming back to Toronto. On our way coming, there was a part, I think for some reason, the lights weren't really on the road. But trust me, because of the lane markings, you could see when your light falls on the you could actually know the lane you are on. But come to my country, the street lights are not functioning. The lanes are also not visible. Imagine you are driving you are driving something mechanical. Your lights can go off.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. It's what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
It's sad, but even with our footbridges, do we have bus stops at the footbridge? Because definitely that's where the buses or the commercial vehicles are supposed to park, so I can get down and use the footbridge. But you drop me somewhere else because it's not safe. There are no bus stops there. Fad, please, your last words to this. How best can we go? And if there are any pending projects that we should look out for too as well.
Right. Okay. I think before I say anything, I will answer what you just said. When you look at our footbridges or where they've been mounted, as Samuel White made mention earlier, like I don't know if it's the footbridge where they are mounted is wrong or where we have our bus stops that's
It's
wrong.
wrong, yeah.
Because you can spot a footbridge far away from where the bus stop is.
Exactly.
So it comes back to the video that we were showing about Samuel White. The guy realized there was one video that Samuel White did. The guy highlighted at where Samuel White was standing to tell him to use the footbridge. The guy said, "Mi fie wahaya, now person me kofa waiting things. Mi fie wahaya." He has to cross 4 lanes of a highway before he goes to his house. So, using 5 minutes walk from the footbridge to your house, or risking your life within 1 second to die.
The word is
Which would
risking your life. Oh.
You see? So that's the problem. We have 2 separate things. Where the footbridge is might be wrong, or where the bus stop is might be wrong. Okay, so before anything, I have a project that I'm embarking on which has to do with Love for the Lights. That's just about traffic lights, malfunction traffic lights. We look at all these things because there is this school at Obojo around East Legon here. Yeah, there are 3 schools and a church around that place. And there is this big issue of traffic lights that's
The one
not
beside the
in motion.
total, right?
Right.
That's traffic light.
Yes.
It's been off since 2022. I'm not even joking.
You know,
Because I started applying that role. I moved to Adenta at some point. I started applying that role since 2022.
Very well.
That traffic light has never functioned.
It's very true because I use that stretch to school when I'm going to Islamic University. That's where I school. When you look at American House traffic lights, and when
Another
you
one.
go down to Compu Ghana, traffic light doesn't. So now when you use your left, it is only AH Hotel
Yes.
traffic light that
that
functions.
works,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yes.
From that stretch to Boche,
No
you know,
traffic
off.
light. Yeah,
So the funny part is sometimes on Fridays, I usually go to that spot, aid the students to cross, and I live there sometimes around 9 p.m. because the school children closes, and now you have other pedestrians just coming from work and stuff. So this is the project I'll be embarking on, Love for the Lights, and if in case anything, I'll
Right,
love to.
over to you.
Let me use your platform.
You want to use it.
Let me use it. Okay.
Now we bring you, so
Yes,
use it.
let me, because this man, I won't see him anytime soon.
Please go ahead.
Another major concern, this one is nationwide. Another major cause of accident is the sales, okay, given to commercial vehicles. You know, most of the vehicles are owned by individuals.
Yeah.
Government don't own our commercial platforms, okay? I own a Sprinter vehicle. I said daily, come and give me 500 cedis. That is what I want. If you can't give me, another driver will take the vehicle and he will give me the 500. Now, in a bid to be able to satisfy the owner, that is how we see that crazy driving on the road.
Want to go and come first?
Yes, he has to go and tender a record. He has to go and give the sales to the owner of the vehicle. It's with all these apps. I don't want to mention a particular one. These small vehicles that help us move around.
Yeah.
Most of the drivers are not qualified. It's because of unemployment. You know what I'm talking about.
do.
All these vehicles, these small ones, most of them are not qualified drivers. It's because of unemployment. So, Charlie, young guy, you have to get something to eat, gets a small vehicle, and he's on the road driving everybody. And it's like everybody is quiet. We are not concerned.
We're not concerned about
Ministry of Transport, everybody is relaxed. But WHO, what is he saying? He says the major cause of death globally, second major, is road accidents.
Yeah.
Road major globally, followed by what? HIV and hepatitis. COVID is not even there. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Frank
having
and
us
Samuel
here.
White. Like I said earlier, it's a pleasure to have sat with you, amazing gentlemen doing incredible work in Ghana. We are proud of you. We appreciate what you're doing, and hopefully you get the needed support to drive this course. Thank you, Samuel White and Fat, for coming. And to you who stayed through the show, thank you for being a part of the show. I hope you have learned, and I always keep asking you this question. Don't sit here and enjoy nice English and nice people. Learn from this. Our road are not quite safe for us as Ghanaians, but yes, we can make better decisions as individuals living here in Ghana. And that's it for our Lifestyle Daily. We'll move straight to the plug right after this.